Welcome to Exam Rabbit Insights. Attention! Exam Rabbit Insights presents you the most repeated actual exam questions that every student must face in their actual exam. Exam Rabbit Insights guarantee 99% similarity of these questions appearing in actual exam. We are proud of our fantastic track record in helping students achieve top marks. Contact Exam Rabbit Help to get your exam done with guaranteed a plus score. We have a team of tutors and experts to assist you in bypassing your proctored softwares and acing your exam. In this video, we are presenting the most repeated HESI, a 2-reading comprehension actual exam questions with answers. Must watch all these questions to get ready to counter these questions in your exam. The water cycle. Water is needed to sustain practically all of life functions on planet Earth. A single drop of this compound is comprised of an oxygen atom, which shares its electrons with each of the 2 hydrogen atoms. The cycle starts when precipitation such as rain, snow, sleet, or hail descends from the sky onto the ground. Water not absorbed immediately from the precipitation is known as runoff. The runoff flows across the land and collects in groundwater reservoirs, rivers, streams, and the ocean. Evaporation takes place when liquid water changes into water vapor, which is a gas. Water vapor returns to the air from surface water and plants. Ultimately, condensation happens when this water vapor cools and changes back into droplets of liquid. In fact, the puffy cotton clouds that we observe are formed by condensation. When the clouds become so heavily laden with liquid droplets, precipitation then ensues. Question number 1. Which literary genre best defines this passage? Option A, speech. Option B, realistic fiction. Option C, essay. Option D, narrative nonfiction. Explanation. Narrative nonfiction is the correct answer because the passage presents factual information about the water cycle in a straightforward, informative manner, while also incorporating descriptive language to explain the process. It narrates a real-world phenomenon without fictional elements, fitting the characteristics of narrative nonfiction. The Summer Olympic Games. Once every 4 years, the countries of the world send their best and brightest to participate in the Summer Olympic Games. The site for the event is decided years before, and most countries contend strongly for the privilege to host the Games. The 2008 Games were held in Beijing, China. There is a lot of pageantry and tradition attached to the event. The opening ceremony is elaborate and awe-inspiring. China put on a spectacularly beautiful fireworks display to welcome the world's athletes in 2008. The track events, water events, swimming, diving, and precision activities such as archery and rhythmic gymnastics are wonderful to watch. Seeing these athletes perform their special skills is a treat for those of us who achieve a vicarious satisfaction from it. Everyone roots for the athletes from their own country, and we thrill when our anthem is played during the medal ceremony. Being an Olympian is an honor every athlete dreams of. Question number 2. How often are the Summer Olympic Games held? Option A, every 2 years. Option B, once a decade. Option C, every 4 years. Option D, annually. Explanation. Every 4 years is the correct answer because the passage explicitly states, once every 4 years, the countries of the world send their best and brightest to participate in the Summer Olympic Games, clearly identifying the frequency of the event. Food. Food and drink are necessary and desirable, but their abuse can cause serious physical and mental problems. Many physicians believe that overeating is one of the country's main health problems, since it places a great strain on the heart, can lead to diabetes, and often shortens the individual's lifespan. To fill an emotional void, people often turn to food when they're bored or lonely. Another area of concern is alcohol consumption. The results of alcohol abuse are widely publicized. The social drinker who becomes alcoholic, the drunken driver's contribution to highway deaths, spousal and child abuse, are all concomitant problems associated with alcohol abuse. Question number 3. As used in the last sentence of this paragraph, the term concomitant means Option A, quiet. Option B, unpredictable. Option C, separate. Option D, accompanying. Explanation. Accompanying is the correct answer because the term concomitant means occurring together or in connection with something else. In the context of the sentence, it refers to problems that accompany alcohol abuse, such as highway deaths and family issues. Facts about the $1 bill. As Americans, We should all know some statistics about our currency. The $1 bill is a fascinating document with a varied historical beginning, consisting of a cotton and linen blend with minute red and blue silk fibers woven through it. The $1 bill debuted in 1957. Due to the fact that the bill is constructed of material, laundering it does not cause any permanent harm. A special blend of ink created from a secret formula is used to write on the dollar bill, which acts as a deterrent to counterfeiters. By sharing these important facts with others, a common understanding and appreciation of the $1 bill is established. Question number 4. Why is making counterfeit copies of the $1 bill difficult? Option A. The paper used is a special blend of materials. Option B. Americans don't know enough about the $1 bill. Option C. The intricate designs on the seals are hard to copy. Option D. The formula for the ink used is kept a secret. Explanation. The paper used is a special blend of materials is the correct answer because U.S. currency, including the $1 bill, is printed on a unique blend of cotton and linen, which is not commonly available. This special paper makes it difficult for counterfeiters to replicate the feel and durability of authentic bills. Getting a good night's sleep. Have you ever found yourself staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m.? Have you kicked the blankets off to the floor from tossing and turning? Many longtime sufferers of insomnia know these situations all too well. As many as 17% of Americans find the restful break of sleep hard to achieve. Lack of sleep affects intellectual abilities at work or school by causing a deficit in memory, attention, and concentration, which in turn creates a feeling of irritation or depression. Chronic insomnia can result from a medical illness, a psychiatric condition, or from sleep apnea, a condition where an individual actually stops breathing during sleep. Sleep hygiene, developing good sleep habits, and non-pharmacological therapies such as herbs and spices are some solutions to insomnia. Question number 5. There is no need to live with insomnia, so contact a physician and get a good night's sleep. Sleep apnea causes. Option A, good sleep habits. Option B, chronic insomnia. Option C, sleep hygiene. Option D, chronic illness. Explanation. Chronic insomnia is the correct answer because the passage mentions that chronic insomnia can result from a medical illness, a psychiatric condition, or from sleep apnea. This clearly links sleep apnea as a cause of chronic insomnia. Phobias. Don't be afraid. Sounds simple, but for some people it's not. Having the normal reaction of being scared or frightened helps you to survive threats of all kinds, both physical and verbal. Most mild fears are outgrown during childhood. However, severe fears, called phobias, are extreme and unreasonable. Phobias cause out-of-control feelings such as sickness, headaches, ulcers, and high blood pressure. Specific phobias center around things, activities, or situations, while people with social phobias feel anxiety over social settings where they fear embarrassing situations. Another type of phobia, called panic disorder, causes people to sweat, tremble, or even faint due to overwhelming panic, which may occur at any time. By talking, breathing deeply, and visualizing, a person can gain control over debilitating phobias. Question number 6. What does the author want the reader to know about phobias? Option A, that people can gain control over phobias. Option B, that phobias are debilitating. Option C, phobias only happen in social settings. Option D, phobias help people to survive threats. Explanation. That people can gain control over phobias is the correct answer because the passage states that strategies like talking, deep breathing, and visualization can help manage phobias. Factory. Care in planning and management is needed if a factory is to run well. Work areas should be large, clean, well-lighted, and airy. Work should move in a straight line from one machine to another. This allows materials in different stages of production to advance smoothly. As orders increase, some factories hire consultants to redesign their outdated operation flow and streamline workstations and equipment within the plant. Using a factory management system can double production as well as improve the rate of on-time deliveries. Careful planning and execution can also contribute to harmonious relations between labor and management. Question number 7. The information presented in this paragraph is: Option A, slanted against government regulations. Option B, slanted against labor. Option C, balanced in its approach. Option D, slanted against management. Explanation. Balanced in its approach is the correct answer because the paragraph discusses the importance of planning and management objectively, highlighting improvements for both production, efficiency, and harmonious labor management relations without showing bias toward any group. Voice. What effect does your voice have on others? Does it persuade or irritate, attract or repel? One of the worst qualities is harshness. If you ever get the feeling that people are uncomfortable when you speak, it may be that your harsh tones are jarring their eardrums. Your voice will sound unpleasant if it is shrill, grating hard, piercing, brassy, too loud, or too nasal. Harsh voice qualities usually come from too much tension in the throat and jaw. Tension tightens muscles and blocks the relaxed voice tones essential to a pleasing impression. Because tension occurs in higher-pitched voices, women tend to have shriller voices than men, which usually makes them less desirable public speakers, newscasters, or political candidates. Question number 8. The information presented is Option A, slanted against people with deep voices. Option B, slanted in favor of newscasters. Option C, balanced in its approach. Option D, slanted against people with piercing voices. Explanation. Slanted against people with piercing voices is the correct answer because the passage highlights negative effects of harsh voice qualities, including piercing tones. Let's go to the circus. Everyone loves a circus. The bright lights, fanciful costumes, and fierce wild animals delight and entertain folks of all ages. The circus calls to the child in each one of us. Ernest Hemingway wrote that it is the only ageless delight that you can buy for money. Circus is a magic word inspiring all sorts of exciting, colorful images. It's a theater of mind-boggling feats. Elephants thundering around the rings, horses dancing, clowns cavorting, and the sequins glittering under the lights. There are historical references to animal displays and athletic competitions from the earliest days of civilization. The Romans were famous for their extravaganzas in the Colosseum. The shows we see today cannot compare to those great spectacles, but all who go to a circus enjoy the experience. It allows us all to be a child again and watch in awe as the athletes perform on the high wire or control the savage beasts in the center ring. Question number 9. What is the definition of cavorting in the second paragraph? Option A, squirting water at the audience. Option B, running and jumping. Option C, making balloon animals. Option D, hitting each other. Explanation. Running and jumping is the correct answer because cavorting refers to lively and playful movements, such as leaping, dancing, or frolicking. In the context of the circus, it captures the energetic and animated actions of clowns as they entertain the audience with their lively antics. Healthcare's numbers game. The game of healthcare is a risky one. Today, emergency rooms are acting as primary care physicians for thousands of patients. This trend produces a vicious cycle of hospitals raising emergency room costs and passing that increase along to paying patients, who in turn pass it along to insurance companies, who in turn raise rates so even more people cannot afford the premium or the copayment. For years, indigent people have used emergency rooms for very minor illnesses, rather than seeing an outside doctor. But now emergency rooms are seeing people with insurance, but who cannot afford the copayment or the deductible for the office visit. If we don't change the way the healthcare game is played, we're all going to lose. Question number 10. The passage implies that Option A, there is a crisis in numbers management in the healthcare industry. Option B, insurance companies are getting rich. Option C, indigent people should not be allowed into emergency rooms. Option D, primary care physicians should work out of emergency rooms. Explanation. There is a crisis in numbers management in the healthcare industry is the correct answer because the passage highlights a cycle of rising costs, inaccessible care, and financial strain, implying a systemic issue with managing healthcare resources and costs.